Granny, Ellie wouldn't milk her goat in the kitchen?
She wouldn't, huh? You go look for yourself. Well?
She ain't milking her goat.
She ain't.
Now, Granny, wait a minute. Hold on, Granny.
She's done learned that hairy ape to do it. Get out of my kitchen, you dead blatant varmints. This ain't no bars, too. No, not so hard. Get off, Skipper. I'll whomp the whole kit and caboodle of you.
Granny, I don't think whomping's gonna do no good. I've been studying this problem a heap, and I think I got it figured out.
I'm listening.
Well, the only thing that's gonna get Ellie's mind off of critters is a nice-looking young fellow.
I'm all for getting Ellie a fella.
Maybe Mr. Drysdale can help. He's got some fine-looking young hands working down at his bank.
Now you're talking. You get yourself a son-in-law that can keep his eyes on your money.
I'll call Mr. Drysdale.
Jed Clampett is on his way down here to look over his prospective sons-in-law. Now, I want to look them over first. Where are they?
He is waiting in my office.
He. One man you found?
Only one, whose qualifications make him worthy of the hand of Ellie Mae Clampett. Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly.
Oh, bring him in. He'll be an old man before I get to meet him.
Mr. Fred Penrod of the accounting department. Mr. Milburn Drysdale, president of the Commerce Bank and your esteemed employer.
My boy, I've been looking forward to shaking your hand. I have great things in mind for you. Why, just last week, I was saying to my board of directors, keep your eyes on that up-and-coming young man, Rod Penfred.
Fred Penrod.
Exactly. I've been watching you ever since you started to work here.
Well, I just started this morning, sir.
Exactly. And already your work is so outstanding, I have you earmarked for promotion.
Well, to be very honest with you, sir, I haven't done any work yet.
Exactly. And it's that very honesty that has brought you to my attention. Now, I'd like you to come to my house tonight for dinner and bring your wife.
Mr. Drysdale, he isn't married.
Not married? Too bad. Well, there goes your vice presidency, my boy.
Vice presidency?
Oh, yes, but I can only trust a married man with that kind of responsibility. Are you by any chance engaged?
No, sir.
You have a girlfriend?
No, sir. I just moved out here from Kansas City.
Oh, what a golden opportunity you're losing. Hey, Miss Hathaway?
Right you are, Chief.
We've got to get this young man married.
He does need a wife.
Somewhere there must be the right girl for him.
Somewhere indeed.
A girl that can take him from accounting to the vice presidency of this bank.
Chief, I think I have the answer.
Good girl.
Goodbye.
Wait, where are you going?
Back to Kansas City. They may have some crazy little women there, but no crazy accountants.
Oh, come back. Let's talk this over.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but I am not going to marry you.
Oh, no. We have someone else in mind. I mean, I'm sure we can find someone.
Excuse me, Mr. Drysdale.
Ah, Mr. Clampett, come in. I want you to meet a fine young man, Mr. Fredrod.
Fred Penrod.
Well, Mr. Clampett here is our biggest depositor.
Oh, congratulations, sir.
Well, it's no credit to me. My pa was a big man, too. He was taller than me.
You know, in addition to being our biggest depositor, Mr. Clampett is also our richest.
And he has one of the most beautiful daughters in all of Beverly Hills.
Ah, yes, the fabulous Ellie Mae. Tell me, Mr. Clampett, is that ravishing daughter of yours married?
Well, now, Mr. Drysdale, I just called you on the telephone. I told you I was looking for somebody to court Ellie Mae.
And that Fred Penn?
Rod Penn.
Penrod.
Now, that name of yours is quite a mouthful. You mind if I just call you Rod?
Fred.
Oh, I'm Jed. I want you to meet my daughter.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be Jake, eh, Fred?
Oh, Ellie. I'm Jed. Rod.
Fred.
No, hold it, everybody. Let's start all over.
Hey, little pawpaw tree, you're gonna make me rich. Yes, sir. You're gonna help me dig up old Jed's money he's got buried around here somewhere.
Leave quick!
Yeah, I'm back again, Granny. You missed me?
No, and I ain't gonna miss you now. Ellie Mae, fetch my shotgun.
Oh, no, Granny. Is that any way to behave to an old friend that just drove all the way out here from back home to bring you that pawpaw tree?
That little pawpaw tree for me?
Yes, it is, Granny.
Where'd you steal it?
You cute little old possum, you. If I didn't have my loving wife, Maudie, back to home, I'd come a-courting you.
Why, you lazy, good-for-nothing, ornery, low-down, thieving polecat.
Dog, if you don't sweet-talk me better than my Maudie.
There's Sonny, Eddie. Sonny, Miss
Ellie, darling, you must have heard your sweet little old granny wrong. She said to fetch a shovel so old Leif could go and plant that there pawpaw tree he done brung you.
Pawpaw? No wonder Granny's jumping for Joe.
You fetch that shovel now, honey, and you take this thing away, huh?
Ah, you good-for-nothing old gully jumper.
Granny, you sure do know how to make a man feel the hope.
Whereabouts you want your pawpaw tree planted, Granny?
Anywhere handy to the house where it gets a lot of sun.
Well, how about where we filled in your root cellar?
No. You're bound to hit oil. We don't want that messy stuff squirting out of the ground. Wherever you dig shallow.
I hadn't figured on doing actual planting. Mr. Crick seemed right anxious to do that himself.
No. If he digs, he's bound to strike oil. That man fetches nothing but bad luck with him.
All right, Granny. Well, Skipper and me'll plant it.
And hurry. The quicker that tree is in the ground, the quicker we'll be shed of that hairy vittle vulture.
Granny, you'll hurt his feelings.
I'm talking about that hairy varmint sitting in the kitchen. The ugly one.
Let's go, Skip.
Make yourself a sandwich, or do you want me to? Did you eat all the ham they was?
Only the one you give me. You got more. I got more room.
You got more in you now than a smokehouse. Get out of here.
Granny, I need my strength to dig a hole for that pawpaw tree I brung you.
Ellie Mae is done planting the tree. Now get out of here.
Ellie Mae shouldn't do hard work like that. That's for me to do.
Now you climb into that puddle jumper of yours and take your worthless carcass back to the mud waller that you come from, you big bullfrog.
You keep sweet-talking me like that, you're gonna make me homesick for Maudie.
Little stinker.
I don't have to ask you who you're yelling at. I seen Leif's car out front. Where's Ellie?
Out back, planting the pawpaw tree that Leif brung us.
I'll go tell her to get purdied up. There's a fella coming to court her. Leif Crick brung us a pawpaw tree?
Yep.
He's giving it to us free?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say free. It's already cost me a ham, a pound of butter, and a loaf of bread. And my usually sweet disposition.
Ellie, honey. Where are you, darling?
Over here, Mr. Crick. This here's a dandy spot, Skipper. Plenty of sun.
Wait a minute, Ellie. Now, hold on. Digging in the ground ain't no job for a sweet, purty millionaire's daughter. You let old Leif do that, huh? Hello there, son. You run along.
But Granny wants me to do it.
Oh, now, Ellie, darling. You wouldn't want me to break my word of honor to Maudie, would you? I done give her my promise, crossed my heart, that I'd plant this here tree.
You did?
I took a vow on it, and it's only fair. She went all the way out in the woods, dug it up, toted it 4 miles back to the cabin.
Well,
Now, you run along and help your granny. Well, now, will you look at this? Isn't this a nice spot? It's already been dug up. We won't ruin no grass.
yeah, but Pa wouldn't want you to dig there.
Why not, sweetheart? Something buried here? Hmm?
Yes, sir, and he wants it to stay buried.
Yeah, howdy there, Leif. Granny tells me you brung us a pawpaw tree.
I did for a fact, Jed. All the way from back home, just because I knowed it would pleasure you. And sweet little Granny, too.
Told him not to dig there because they was...
Never mind, Ellie. Now, why don't you run on in the house and get yourself one of them there, what you call a bubble bath. Get all sweet and pretty smelling because a young city fella coming over to court you.
He is? What's his name?
His full name is Fred Penrod Penrod, but he answers to Fred, Rod, or Jake.
Sure has got a slew of names, ain't he?
He's got 3 names he don't even use. Just the initials, CPA. Is that right?
What's up, Pa?
Jed, I couldn't help picking up a word here and there. Now, surely you ain't fixing to let no city fella come a-courting Ellie Mae. Not when I got a big, strong, handsome, hard-working, honest, likable, intelligent, unmarried son back home.
Is that the one they call Weasel? One spends most of his time in jail?
That's the boy. He's out again now, Jed. Turn over a new leaf, straightening up his line.
No offense, Leif, but I kind of think Ellie can do better.
Well, let me send for him, Jed. You can see for yourself how he's changed, Dub has. He's a regular city fella now, fit right here in Beverly Hills.
I wouldn't waste no bus fare bringing Dub out here if I was you.
Well, I won't have to, Jed. I'll get Morty to put him in the shoes. He can walk out.
Just forget it, Leif. Now, if you'll excuse me, Ellie's beau will be here directly. I want to see he gets greeted proper.
Well, I'm telling you right now, he won't be the boy my Dub is.
Well, thank you, Leif. That cheers me up considerable.
Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. You must be the young fella coming to court Ellie Mae, my twin sister.
Twin sister?
Jethro, if you was a young city fella, wouldn't you just drop right to your knees and ask her to marry you?
Yeah.
Ellie Mae, you just about the prettiest thing the Lord ever put together. When that city boy looks at you, his eyes are gonna bug right out of his head.
You say that Ellie Mae is bigger than you?
Well, no, I wouldn't exactly want to say bigger, just fatter is all. We used to be just alike as two peas in a pod. The Ellie Mae took to eating more than I do. Hey, they sure don't put much candy in these here fancy boxes, do they?
There's 3 pounds in that one.
Good thing you didn't give it to Ellie. She wouldn't even bother to open it for that little dab of sweet.
You know, I just remembered something. I should take my motor scooter in for service. It's overdue.
Is that little thing what you ride?
Yes, sir. It's very economical.
You can't take my sister honeymooning on that. Why, she eats sandwiches bigger on this contraption.
You're right. I'll come back when I can afford a truck. Something bigger.
Little city boy, you running out on my sister?
Oh, no, sir.
Because if you are, you better never show your face around here again.
I won't. I promise.
And you pass that word around down there to the bank. Ain't gonna be no trifling with Ellie Mae Clampett. Next young fella comes up here, Corton's gonna marry her.
Yes, sir.
All 300 pounds of her.
Yes, sir.
Now you get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Must be your beau. Come on, Ellie.
And don't you come back, boy.
You have my word.
Howdy there, young feller. Here's my daughter, Ellie Mae.
Hi, Fred.
Hi. So long. This girl is Ellie Mae?
That's right.
Boy, I've heard of crash diets, but this is fantastic.
Is this Ellie's beau?
Scrawny little feller.
I'd like you to meet Ellie's granny and her cousin Jethro. Folks, this is Mr. CPA Fred Rod.
No, Penrod. CPA stands for Certified Public Accountant.
Oh, we couldn't remember all them names.
Just call me Fred.
Pleased to meet you, Freddie.
Glad to meet you, Granny.
Howdy, Fred.
Hi.
That there your scooter?
Yes, it is.
Can I ride it?
Sure.
Thank you.
Help yourself.
It pushes hard, but sure do ride smooth.
Come on in, young fella.
Hello? Hello? Is this Luke's General Store over at Sibley? Is that you, Luke? Well, this is your old friend, Leif Crick. Now, hold on now, Luke. Don't go hanging up. I'm calling for Jed Clampett. Yeah. He wants you to send my boy Dub out to California right away. Since when? Well, can't you get the sheriff to let him out?
Now, you young folks go right on in the parlor and start getting acquainted. Granny and me'll see you later.
Yes, sir, Pa.
Oh, Mr. Fred, I'd like to have a word with you.
Yes, sir.
Skipper, sure do hope you like that nice young fellow that's come to court me.
Now, Granny, I reckon you'll be wanting to get the victuals ready.
Not especially.
Well, do it anyway.
Shit, I don't.
Now, I'd just like to say that my daughter Ellie ain't been courted much. She's what you might call innocent, sweet and innocent.
I understand perfectly, Mr. Clampett.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Fred, do you like to get hugged real hard?
Boy, has your father lost touch with you. Yeah, I sure do like to get hugged real hard. I sure do.
Sit down right there and close your eyes.
Boy, I'm not going to miss those crazy little women back in Kansas City one bit.
This is a good way to get acquainted.
Yeah. You know something, Ellie? You've got to start using a milder detergent.
Oh, no, Luke, you gotta do it for me. I mean for Jed. Yeah, you gotta do it for yourself, too. If my boy's Dubs married to Jed's girl, Ellie, you're gonna get that money I owe you. And it's gonna save me a heap of digging, too. Now you tell the sheriff Jed Clampett's gonna pay for everything. Sure. All you gotta do is get Dub out of jail, clean him up, put shoes on him, and send him out here to marry Ellie Mae. Did you hear some noise on the line?
You thin-headed varmint, out!
Leif Crick must be here. He's Mr. Clampett's nearest and dearest friend.
I know. I tried to hire him as a night watchman at the bank, but the poor fellow just couldn't fit it into his busy schedule.
Human dynamo, that man.
Fantastic. He never stops working.
Another Jed Clampett. That's what he is.
Yes. Well, let's see how young Redford's doing.
Redpen. Rodbroom.
Never mind. Let's see how he's doing.
Oh, Mr. Crick, how nice to see you.
Why, it's that pretty Miss Jane and that young Mr. Drysdale, the handsome banker.
I like this man. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm looking for a place to dig a hole to plant a little old pawpaw tree for my nearest and dearest friends, the Clampetts.
Always working, this man.
Fantastic.
Can't you stop just for a while?
Oh, no, ma'am. I must keep ahead of Granny. Working, that is. I couldn't let no woman outwork me. I'll be seeing you.
What a man.
Salt of the earth.
Fabulous.
Well, Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale, come in, come in.
Thank you.
Well, how did Ellie like my accountant, young Fernpot?
Henfred. Rod.
I declare that boy's got names he ain't even used. I hope if he marries up with Ellie Mae, he'll pick out 3 or 4 of his favorites and leave the rest go.
Apparently the young accountant has taught Ellie to play the piano. That's a duet.
By George, that young Fernpan is talented. Who's playing the piano duet?
He is.
Granny, them was the best company victuals you ever cooked.
Absolutely wonderful. What were those delicious little meatballs?
I'll give you the receipt when you get married, Miss Jane. Them's my owl burgers, deep-fried in possum fat.
Husband will never leave home with them on the table.
I had a nice big smoked ham, too. But that lazy good-for-nothing Leif Crick ate the whole thing.
Granny, I would hardly call Leif Crick lazy. He didn't stop digging long enough to come in and eat.
Digging?
Leif Crick.
Whereabouts?
Somewhere out and back, I suppose. He's planting you a pawpaw tree.
Leif? Ain't that a kind of a deep hole for that little pawpaw tree?
I gotta give the roots plenty of room, Jed.
Don't dig no deeper. it'll hit oil.
Well, I done hit it 4 times already, Granny, but I plugged the holes couldn't tight.
Kid, I might have me a root cellar after all.
Depends on how good he plugged up the oil. That's a lot of pressure to hold back. I think he plugged it up too good. Looky yonder.
Oil! It's oil! It's a regular curse!
Presentation.
Jed! Where are you, Jed? Come a-running! I got something to show you, Jed!
What is it, Granny?
You're the head of the Clampett clan. When you see what's coming down them stairs, your heart is going to swell up and burst with pride.
Well, let's take a look.
There's me, 60 years ago, head to toe. Let out a little in between. What took you so long, girl?
Well, I thought I'd never get them rascals buttoned up.
Lost my button hook. Well, Jed, don't she just fair take your breath away?
She does for a fact, Granny. But, is women still wearing them kind of clothes today?
No. And that's why so many ain't getting married.
What you mean?
Women's clothes today don't leave nothing for men to wonder about. You take them women down to the victual store. Them women come in there wearing little shorts and something they call stretch pants. They all look like a 4-pound sausage stuffed into a 2-pound skin.
Not in the middle store, huh?
Oh, it's shameful. Why, them women show more than a sideshow wiggle dancer at a county fair. Ain't you been down there? Ain't you seen them?
No, but you sure put me in the mood to go.
Nothing to fun about, Jed. You want your daughter to have a happy marriage, don't you?
Oh, of course I do, but...
Ellie, come here.
Howdy, everybody. Hey, Ellie, you're...
What's so funny?
You! What's that thing you got on your head?
That's an expensive hat. Special made. Cost my paw 2 pigs and a chicken.
If you ask me, it'd look better to wear the 2 pigs and the chicken.
I reckon nobody asked you, Jethro.
Well, all right, but her fella's coming up the driveway now, so she better hurry and get into some courting clothes.
She's wearing courting clothes.
Them?
There he is. I'll go let him in.
No, Ellie. It ain't proper for a young girl to be ready when her beau comes to the front door. We'll wait in here. Your paw'll let him in.
I sure hope I can remember his names.
He sure does have a bunch of them.
Hello, Mr. Clampett.
Howdy there, young fella. Jethro, you remember Mr. CPA Rod Fern Fred Penn Fernpot?
Penrod.
I always forget that one.
That's my name, simply Penrod.
Well, simply, this here is Jethro.
Good to see you again, Simply.
Fred.
No, that's Jethro. I'm Jed.
I'm Fred.
Now you getting it? I don't blame you for getting mixed up with other folks' names. You got enough to do to remember your own. You must have 8 or 10.
Howdy, Mr. Redfern. You're in for a surprise.
Ellie?
No, simply, this here's Granny.
Simply.
That's what he wants us to call him, Simply Penrod.
Praise be. I never could remember all them other names.
Hi there, Fred.
Ellie. What are you, a Gibson girl?
Shucks, no, I'm a Clampett.
Give the boy credit, Ellie. He remembered your first name. That's better than he did with any of the rest of it.
I mean, what are you doing in this strange costume?
Funny looking, ain't it, Sim?
yes, it is.
You think that's funny, do you? Walk for him, Ellie.
You're right, that's really funny.
Why, you silly pink
Now,
squeak, you don't
Simply
know...
and Ellie, I reckon it's time for you to get going. Come on.
Maybe we ought to stay here, Ellie Mae. All I've got's my motor scooter.
You said you'd ice pop our car.
Oh.
There it is, Simply. It's all yours.
Is this your car, Mr. Clampett?
Well, strictly speaking, it belongs to my cousin Pearl, but I can keep it as long as I keep her boy Jethro.
I'm afraid I don't know how to drive this.
Jethro!
So maybe we'd just better stay here instead of going out to dinner.
Oh, fine with me. Granny's cooking up hog jowls.
Maybe we can both get on the scooter.
Oh, no need to do that, young'uns. Jethro will drive you any place you want to go.
Sure I will.
Come on, Fred.
Up there?
Yeah, come on, fellow fella.
He laughs anymore at your courting dress. Make him walk home. Ed, I think we're making a mistake, letting that city whippersnapper court Ellie.
Well, now, Mr. Drysdale seems to set great store by young Fernpot. Simply says he's going to move right up the ladder.
Ladder? What's he do down the bank? Wash windage?
Yeah, I understand it. He's got something to do with bookkeeping.
Let's keep him on a high shelf if he has to climb for him. I say that we ought to take Ellie home and get her married to a hillman. She's a filly with a high spirit, and she needs a strong hand at the rein.
Well, Leaf Crick's mighty anxious for his boy Dub to get hitched to Ellie. He's strong.
I said a hillman, not a gully-jumping mud crawler.
All right, Randy.
Well, boy, now you're gonna commence a courting that sweet, beautiful, rich Ellie Mae. Wake up, boy.
I'm awake.
Then open your eyes.
What for?
'Cause we's there.
Please, where?
At Jed Clampett's house, doggone it. Now open your eyes and have a look.
What for? I believe you.
Now, boy, when they open the door, you let your pa do all the talking, you hear? Selling the Clampetts on letting you marry into their family is going to be hard on sneaking daylight past the rooster. Wake up, boy. I'm talking on you.
I'm awake, Pa.
Then look at me.
What for? I know what you look like.
Oh, there now. I got that nasty old bee that stung you on the head. Why, Jed Clampett, I didn't see you standing there. You know my boy, Dub.
Yeah, I do. Howdy, Dub.
Boy, Mr. Clampett done said howdy on you. Now, why don't you answer him?
Because you said when they opened the door to let you do all the talking.
I thought I see another bee.
Your head smart, boy?
Answer the man.
Only when Pa hits me.
Another one to buzzing by.
Y'all better come in out of the bees.
Well, thank you, Jed. Thank you.
Got the sack.
Oh, why, this here's just a little present the Dub brought out for Ellie Mae. A nice batch of black walnuts, the kind you can't grow out here.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you, Dub. Where'd you get them?
Answer the man.
I stole them.
Well, what he means is they hadn't fallen off in the tree yet, and he had to pick them. Now, to a nature lover like my Dub, that's the same as stealing them baby walnuts from their mother. Oh, sweet he is.
Yeah, I reckon that's why the bees took out after him.
Yeah. Jed, we just plumb tuck it out from toting these here walnuts all the way out here to Ellie. Now, couldn't we just spend the night in your barn? We'd curl up in the hay. We wouldn't be no trouble to nobody.
Well, Leif, we ain't got a barn. There's plenty of bedrooms upstairs. As long as you keep quiet and don't rile up Granny, you're welcome to use them.
Did you hear that, boy? Didn't I tell you Jed was like that? Didn't I tell you he was the salt of the earth, had a lot of heart? Ooh-wee. This is right out of a castle, that's what it is. What do you think of this, Dub? It takes your breath away, don't it? Come on, boy, speak up. Tell Mr. Clampett what you think of this beautiful room he's giving us.
The roof leaks, huh?
Don't think so, Dub.
Of course it don't leak. What do you want to say a Dub thing like that for?
Because there's a tent over the bed. You're gonna ruin my hat.
Appreciate it if you two be as quiet as you can. I don't want Granny to know you're here. Leastwise, not just yet. I'll break it to her gently in the morning.
Oh, we understand, Jed.
I don't.
Must be them bee stings, Jed. He'll be all right as soon as he rests and has some victuals.
I'll bring you up some grits and jowls directly.
You're a good man, Jed. I says to Morty before we left, I says,
Dry your eyes, Morty, I says. Jed Clampett's a good man. He'll treat me and Dub just like we was his own. He'll board us and bed us. Salt of the earth, Jed is.
Leif, you hadn't ought to waste all that. Out here in Beverly Hills, you can sack it and sell it.
Now, you get yourself cleaned up and you get into them store-bought and city-made courting clothes of yours and you ask Ellie Mae to marry you. You gotta make that girl your finance before Granny runs us off.
I think you mean Fiancy.
You mean Fiancy. I mean finance.
Hey, Uncle Jed, I just seen old Leif Crick's car out front. Is he here?
I don't want Granny to know they's here.
They?
Bring his boy with him.
Dub? Is old Dub Crick here? Hey, Dub!
Boy, I just told you I don't want Granny to know they's here. Now, come on, let's get the car out of sight before she sees it. Where's Ellie Mae and Simply?
Oh, they're out riding. I learned him how to drive the truck.
All right, now, take Leif's car, put it over behind them bushes yonder.
Ain't got no key in it. I'll just let off the brake and push it.
Need any help?
Shucks, no.
Remember now, keep this whole thing quiet.
Okay.
Not so fast, Jethro. You're headed for the hill. Look out! Catch it, Jethro!
Got away from me, Uncle Jed.
Yeah, I see it there. There she goes. Looks like Leif and his boy is going to be with us longer than I figured.
Come in, Mr. Drysdale.
Granny, did you hear that loud noise?
Yeah. Don't let it worry you. It's my grits exploding.
Grits explode.
Heck, they do it every time I pressure cook them. Would you care to stay for victuals? We're having some blowed-up grits and some deep-fried hog jowls.
No, thank you, Granny.
And a nice green salad. Wilted crabgrass.
No, thank you.
Tadpole soup. And some candied crawdad tails.
No, really. As a matter of fact, Miss Hathaway is having dinner at our house, and I was hoping that Ellie Mae and young Fernpile could join us. Oh, he's a young CPA at my bank.
Oh, you mean Simply.
Who?
The window washer.
Greetings, Granny. I'm sorry, Chief, but Mrs. Drysdale wants you to come at once. She's ready to serve the shrimp.
Looks like Simply come while you were gone.
What?
You better not keep your wife waiting.
Au revoir, Granny.
Same to you, whatever it is.
Mr. Crick,
Doing the work of two men, as usual.
human dynamo.
Why, it's beautiful, Miss Jane. And handsome young banker Drysdale. You know, for a minute there, I thought I was seeing Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
By George, Crick, you're too good for this kind of back-breaking work. Now, won't you reconsider taking a job in my bank?
You mean a white-collar job?
Yes.
Well, sir, it's too late for me to change the hard-working habits of a lifetime. All I can hope for is that my boy has it better.
You have a son?
Well, you wouldn't know he was my son, ma'am. My boy Dub has a head on his shoulders.
Smart lad, eh?
Mr. Drysdale, smart just ain't the word for that boy.
Mr. Crick's son sounds like a natural for our executive trainee program.
Just what I was thinking. Mr. Crick, can your boy fly out here and talk to me about a job?
Fly? Why, Mr. Drysdale, just for the honor of shaking your hand, that boy would crawl out here on his hands and knees.
Well, just have him fly out.
I can't, Mr. Drysdale. I'm a poor man. All I got are the rags on my back.
Oh, of course. How thoughtless of me. Here.
Sir, I couldn't take money from you. I'll have him walk out.
Whoa, it's over 2,000 miles. It would take him weeks.
Well, he can run some of the way.
Nonsense. Here. If he flies, he'll be here in a few hours.
Oh, sir, all this money.
It's worth every penny to have Leif Crick's son in my bank.
Chip off the old block, I'll wager.
Oh, yes, ma'am. That boy is a born crook. I mean, crick. Bless you. Bless you both. I'll run tell him. Telegraph him.
Howdy do. I pressure cook 16 pounds of grits, 30 sets of hog jowls. Nobody shows up to eat. Grits and jowls, come and get them or I'll throw them out. If there's anybody upstairs, Biggles is ready.
Don't throw them out. I'm coming.
There's a creak in the house. Where's my shotgun?
Oops, I forgot.
Jed, come a-running. Fetch my shotgun.
What is the matter, Granny? You're yelling like you seen the devil itself.
I seen worse. A crick. Dumb crick.
Too bad, Uncle Jed, after we tried so hard.
Ow, my toe! It must be gonna rain. Why don't you go out in the kitchen and have some victuals?
Just 'cause it's gonna rain ain't no cause to stomp a fella's toe.
Now then, Granny, just where did you see this, crick, was it?
Yes, it was it? Dumb crick in his underwear. He came flying down them stairs, and when I yelled at him, he went flying back up.
Kind of like when you seen that giant jackrabbit nobody else could see, huh?
That jackrabbit was here, and Dumb Crick is here, and probably is no good paw along with him.
Well, then, their car ought to be sitting out front, huh?
Yeah, let's go set fire to it.
Granny, was it there?
No.
Yeah, come on now. Let's go have some victuals and we'll all feel better. Giant jackrabbit?
No, Dave Crick, he's here.
Maybe you've been working too hard.
I tell you, I've seen him.
Where are you going, Granny?
I'm gonna search this house top to bottom till I find that overgrown varmint.
What would a jackrabbit be doing upstairs?
I ain't looking for a jackrabbit.
Howdy, Pa, Granny.
Well, look who's here. You young folks home kind of early, ain't you?
Oh, we had to come home. There are no lights on that truck.
What you want to do, read?
Did you see anything of Leif Crick's car out front?
No, ma'am.
Did you see anything of Leif?
No, ma'am.
How about his boy, Dub?
No, ma'am.
I don't suppose you saw anything of a giant jackrabbit.
You women folks is through whispering. I think you ought to invite this young fellow to stay for supper. How about it, Simply?
Fred.
No, I'm Jeff.
Mr. Clampett, my name is Fred Penrod, period.
He's come up with another one.
Well, let's go sit at the table before my tadpole soup gets cold.
Oh, I just remembered. I've got to work on the books tonight. So long, everybody.
I'll be seeing you, Fred.
Manana, Ellie.
Manana?
I wish that boy would pick out one favorite name and stick to it.
Granny, can I take off my courting dress now?
Sure, honey. I'll keep the soup hot.
Won't take me long.
Hurry up, boy. Ellie Mae's come home. Ain't you in them high-class big city court and clothes yet?
Almost, Pa. And they is really something. You can't even tell they second-hand.
Well, come on out here. Let me have a look. I've never seen nothing like that before. Are you sure them's real big city clothes?
Yes, sir. Luke Short over at the general store in Sibley bought these off a fella that worked at the racetrack in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Well, cities just don't come no big on Hot Springs.
That's the truth. You know what this outfit's worth, including the watch and the yaller shoes?
How much?
$15.
$50? That's what I call robbery.
Yeah, I knowed you'd be proud. It's the most I ever stole.
Now, that is. Commencing tomorrow, you's gonna be working in Mr. Drysdale's bank.
Now, by dingies, we'll find out. I'm seeing spooks or cricks? I never knew a crick yet to pass up free grits and jowls.
Granny pressure cooks the grits. Tenders them up real nice.
Dad! Dad! Come help me, I caught him!
Caught who, Granny?
Just pull on this rope. You'll see. Well, does that look like a vision?
Oh, it looks like Jethro.
Wait, it's worth your life to try to get seconds around here.
Sorry, Jethro. I thought it was one of the cricks.
Yonder she is, boys. Get to courting.
Which one?
I think your best chance is with the little one.
There are the cricks.
No, no. I ain't biting on the same visions twice in one day.
This ought to get the Clampetts interested in deep-sea fishing, don't you agree?
Chief, it is a master stroke of psychological strategy.
Thanks. Grab the tail.
It cleverly takes cognizance of their innate love of the sport of hunting, which has been drastically curtailed by Ellie Mae's love of the very creatures they hunt.
Yeah, grab the tail.
Provides these active, rugged mountaineers with all the thrills and excitement of the chase they so thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, grab the tail.
And should they become devotees, it will prevent their leaving Beverly Hills and returning to their home. For, by its very nature, big game fishing is impossible in their landlocked, mountainous terrain. I repeat, Chief, it is a master stroke of psychological strategy.
All this because I said 3 lousy words. Don't you agree? I'm going to say 3 more. Grab the tail!
Granny, me and old Duke here is plumb tuckered out. We walked clean over to the golf pasture looking for some game.
What'd you get?
We got mean mouthed and stick chased out of there.
You mean you come home with nothing, empty-handed again?
Well, we did manage to find a few of them golf eggs.
Throw 'em out, Jed. They just can't be cooked. I boiled them and torched them and fried them. And they still come out gummy as an old boot. Doggone it, I wanted some fresh game meat.
Well, looks like we's caught betwixt and between, Granny. Folks don't want me shooting a gun, and when I snare the game, Ellie makes a pet out of it.
Uncle Jed, Granny! Come see what Mr. Drysdale and Miss Jane brought us. A great big old fish about this long.
Fish that size must be a channel cat.
Yeah, some catfish rolled in cornmeal, deep fried. Ought to taste pretty good right now, huh?
Sure.
Come on, let's go.
Remember, not a word to my wife about giving this trophy to the Clampetts.
Right, Chief.
That fishing trip to the Gulf of Mexico cost us about $4,000. And this is all we have to show for it.
I understand.
Plus which, it took her 6 hours to land it.
Well, doggies, that is a big fish.
Ain't no catfish.
Looks like a carp.
No, this is a tarpon. That's a saltwater fish.
Oh, you cook 'em in salt water, do you?
No, it lives in salt water. The tarpon is a noted deep-sea game fish.
And I want you to have it for your game room.
Our what room?
Game room. That's the one with the trophies on the wall. The billiard room.
Oh, you mean the fancy eating room.
Yes, as you so quaintly call it.
What do I have to do to 'em?
Nothing. It's been prepared by an expert taxidermist.
Feels nice and crisp.
I'd sure like to see the skillet he was fried in.
Me too. Feels like the grease got too hot and he curled up a mite.
No, he's not fried.
Baked?
No.
Don't smell like he's been smoked.
Tarpon are rarely cooked at all. Once caught, they're usually preserved, like this one.
Oh, preserved.
Like pickled?
Well, yes, in a way. It's quite a process. They're cleaned, scraped, treated with chemicals, even the bones are removed. Then, a form is made and the skin
Miss
is...
Hathaway.
Sorry, Chief.
Mr. Clampett, I'm sure you'd enjoy catching a fish like this.
I would for a fact. Now, there's a critter even Ellie wouldn't make a pet out of.
Then it's all settled. Now I'm going out and get you the finest deep-sea fishing equipment that money can buy.
Oh, no need to do that, Mr. Drysdale. I can cut myself a pole and make a hook out of a bent nail.
No, catching big game fish like tarpon and marlin requires very special equipment.
It does indeed, Mr. Clampett. The black marlin, for example, which is a native of our own Pacific waters.
Jethro, fetch this fish out to the kitchen. I gotta figure out how to cook him.
But, Granny, Miss Jane said you didn't have to do nothing more to it. She said that it was all...
I heard what she said, but I say that this fish ain't got a fresh-caught look to it. Nobody's chomping on him till I've cooked him.
Yes, ma'am, Granny. She's right. It could use some tender enough.
You're gonna commence a tendering up, you wall-eyed, ocean-going varmint.
You cooking that fish?
I ain't giving him a bath.
Gene said he already been prepared by experts, something or other.
Taxi driver.
That sounds like it, yeah.
He better stick to driving taxis. He don't know shucks about fish. I've been boiling this rascal for 2 hours, and he's still tough as harness leather.
You know what it could be, Granny?
What?
Swimming around in the salt water all them years is what toughened him up. You know what brine will do to any kind of hide.
I know what it's done to his hide. Why, I've dulled 3 knives trying to cut him up. Finally had Jethro fetch him out here and throw him into my big kettle whole.
And cooking him 2 hours ain't soften him up none?
Not one smidgen. And I've had both ends in the water.
Granny, we's hungry. Ain't that fish ready yet?
That fish ain't never gonna be ready.
Well, let's go catch one of our own.
Yeah, with this fish winding machine.
It'll be a freshwater fish if I cook it. I'd as leave try to stew an alligator as that thing.
Come on, Jethro, let's dig some worms.
Now, hold on. I reckon it'd hurt Mr. Drysdale's feelings considerable if he was to find out we didn't eat his fish.
But, Uncle Jed, I pretty near broke a tooth on that thing.
And if Jethro can't bite through it, nobody can.
How about Rusty, my cat? He's had his eye on it ever since Jethro fetched it out here.
Yeah, let's give it to him.
It's a heap of fish for one cat.
Don't worry about that, Granny. Appears like Rusty is rounding him up some friends to help.
All I can say to you is... loads of luck.
Well, didn't you cut poles for Pa and Granny?
Granny's going to use the new store-bought pole from Mr. Drysdale, and Uncle Jed's going to try out his new fishing machine.
You dig a nice bucket of worms, Ellie?
Yes, sir, Pa. They's on a truck. What's that thing you're wearing?
Well, this here is a fishing machine harness for holding this here fishing machine.
I still say that's a mighty short pole.
I reckon it's meant for fishing over the side of a boat, man.
Ain't gonna get me on no boat.
Ain't figuring to. They work just well off a bridge. You know any good fishing bridges, Jethro?
Only bridge I know goes over the Los Angeles River.
Ain't nothing like a river for catfish. Let's get going.
Wasn't much water in it last time we was there.
Maybe the beavers had it dammed up.
If May's still there, can I bring home a beaver?
No more critters.
Quiet down, Granny. We ain't bringing home nothing but fish. Let her roll, Jethro. Come on, Jethro. You're wasting time. There ain't no fish in there.
That is the poorest excuse of a river I ever did see.
Pitiful, just pitiful.
Los Angeles is so ashamed of that river, they had to put up cement walls to hide it.
It'll be better when the spring thaw sets in. Come on, let's go find us a creek or a pond.
Hey, wait a minute. I got a bite.
My doggies, he has a dad.
Gilly, fetch my pole, quick!
What for? This ain't nothing but a boot.
I know it. I'm going to fish for the other one. They're better than the ones I'm wearing.
You young'uns wait here. Granny and me is going in and talk to Mr. Drysdale.
Yeah, I have a few things to say that you might oughtn't to hear. Him and his Beverly Hills fishing.
Now, simmer down, Granny. We'll get it straightened out. Keep eye on the poles and stuff.
Guess what, Chief?
What?
You're taking the Sea Witch tomorrow.
I am not. You know she doesn't get along with the Clappets.
The Sea Witch is the boat you've chartered.
Oh. Well, don't scare me like that.
By doggies, we come here to complain about having no place to fish. You ought to see where poor Mr. Drysdale is trying his luck.
Granny, Mr. Clampett, come in, come in.
Mr. Drysdale, are you catching anything out of there?
Well, I wasn't really trying to catch anything.
We was trying.
What did you get?
One old boot, and it don't fit too good.
I thought the hunting around here was poor, but the fishing is really miserable.
We found a pond with some fish in it up the street yonder. The one with the spring and the bubbles coming out of in the middle.
Oh, that's a municipal fountain, and those are goldfish.
I hope you didn't try to catch any of those.
Oh, yeah, we caught a lot of them, but we threw them all back. The biggest one was no better than that.
Mr. Clampett, Granny, tomorrow you will have the fishing experience of your lives. I have chartered a boat.
I ain't setting foot on no boat.
Granny, you'll be perfectly safe. It's quite large, and there's an expert crew aboard.
I ain't getting on no boat.
But you love it, Granny. Wait till you experience the thrill of hooking a giant barracuda,
I ain't going.
a fighting sea bass,
I ain't going.
bonita, albacore,
I ain't going.
yellowtail.
You can call me coward all you want. I ain't going.
Please, Mr. Clampett, bring her back. I want to explain.
I'll bring her back, but you're going to have a job getting her on the boat. Granny's right fond of fishing, but she likes to do her rocking on dry land.
Doggone it. Deep-sea game fishing is made to order for that scrappy little woman. One look at a 500-pound sea bass, and she'll never fish in fresh water again.
Chief, I've got an idea. An inspiration. It combines all the elements
Oh,
of...
wait a minute. Can you tell me in 5,000 words or less?
I can tell you in one word, Marineland.
Marineland,
Yes, there, with her feet firmly planted on dry land. Granny can gaze through glass windows into a huge tank and observe at arm's length specimens of sea life by the thousands, from the largest mammals to the tiniest crustaceans.
Now, Granny, it won't hurt you none to listen to Mr. Drysdale.
He ain't getting me out on no water.
But, Granny, I know how fond you are of fish.
I'm fond of ducks, too. But I ain't going up in the sky after 'em.
Sit down.
Well, youngins, we're going fishing after all.
Mr. Drysdale told us about a fishing hole that's got 'em all beat.
He's going to take us out there first thing in the morning.
It's a gymnasium.
You can look through a glass window and pick out the kind of fish you like.
Some of 'em as big as this truck.
Let's go right now.
Yeah.
I'm all for that, Jed.
Well, I reckon it would spare Mr. Drysdale a heap of trouble.
Yeah, where is it, Paul?
Down near the ocean, a place called Marineland.
Do you reckon the Marines would let us fish there?
Well, he didn't say nothing about that.
Well, they hadn't better try to stop me. I'm catching one of them whoppers for supper tonight.
The Marines is real tough fighters, Granny, and they tote guns.
Well, let's stop by home and get our guns.
Hold on, Granny. We ain't taking on the whole United States Marine.
And he called me a yellowtail.
Fight him, Granny.
Ain't nobody gonna fight nobody. We'll ask them Marines nice and polite, can we fish in a fishing hole?
What if they say no?
We'll jump that quick when we come to it. Drive on, Jethro. Excuse me there, young feller. Are you a Marine?
No, sir, Air Force. But there's a Marine. Oh, Sergeant.
Yes, Lieutenant.
These people seem to be looking for a Marine.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Well, we heard stories about all the big fish there is in there, and we sure would like to try our luck.
Be my guest.
Well, thank you.
What's a great spot? You'll love it.
Big fish, huh?
I'll say, if you like real big fish, be sure to catch the whale.
We'll do our best.
Sure is nice of the Marines to let us use their fishing hose.
Yeah. Hey, this looks like a good one. Pull up here, Jethro.
They must be them whales that Marine told us to catch.
I got to admit, them's big fish.
I don't think we got a pole big enough to pull one of them rascals in.
According to the sign on the fishing hole, them there is porpoises.
I want me a whale. I want. What's these critters?
Sign says these here is seals.
Well, let's see what else we can find.
I want me a whale.
I like them, especially that baby one. This here's the biggest one yet.
It's a dandy.
Is this where the whales are supposed to be?
That's what the sign says.
I don't see no fish.
Maybe you gotta drop a line and get a bite.
Put a hook on my line, Jethro.
Yes, sir, Granny.
Ellie Mae, I'm gonna catch me the biggest whale there is in there. Fetch me out a nice big fat worm.
I don't believe I'd bother with a worm if I was you.
Think a grasshopper make better bait?
Unless you can find one the size of a hog.
Grasshopper don't come that big.
And you better use a hog. Look out yonder. Here he comes again.
And we thought them porpoises was big.
Don't nobody move. That fish is mine.
What are you gonna catch him with, Granny?
It's Jethro.
You ain't gonna put me on no hook.
No. You go out there on that board and make a noise like a grasshopper.
You mean rub my legs together?
I don't know how you do it, but do it. Then when he jumps out of the water to grab you, you grab him first.
How?
Throw your arms around him. Grab him out of there and swing him on the bank.
Granny, I reckon you're getting a little carried away. Now, I'd be proud as you to take that big rascal home, but instead of gaining the fish, we might be losing the boy.
If the Marines can catch him that big, so can we. Come on, Jethro. Go on, Jethro, go on.
All right, but you come with me.
What's the matter, Jethro? You scared of a fish?
Well, that's what I am. Here's a whole bucket of fish. Why don't we take these home? Then we don't have to bother that big ugly rascal.
Give him one. He'll think we're friendly. Catch him off guard. Go on, Jethro, go on.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean you're ugly.
That's right, Jethro. Tempt him again.
That's it. Looking down his throat is like looking through a cellar door.
All right, Granny, that's enough. Come on, Jethro, get off of here.
You bring the fish, Uncle Jed.
Wants another fish, Jed.
Here's one for you, young fella. I think this whale wants them all.
It's a baby walrus. Ain't he cute, Pa? Can I take him home?
Hadn't better, Ellie. He'd remind Granny too much of Leif Crick. Ain't that right, Granny? Where'd you go, Granny? Jethro!
Put me down, you big coward!
I caught her, Uncle Jeff. She was pricking her back to the whale tank.
I reckon we better head for home.
I'll be back, you overgrown big mouth varmint! And this time I'll get you! You're mine, do you hear? I can't stand it. Turn around and go back!
We're going home, Granny. Now quieten down.
You can't catch a whale, Granny.
It's too much fish for a little woman like you.
Now, fish don't live. That's too much for me. I'll see him in my skillet if it's the last thing I ever do.
Just getting close to him, Lil, will be the last thing you ever do. Now settle down.
I know what I'll do. I'll roll him in cornmeal. That's what I'll do. Deep fry him. Get that rascal yet.
Where you going, Gran?
None of your business.
Who sent her off?
Poor Granny.
Yeah, the sad part of it is, when she goes telling folks about the one that got away, ain't nobody gonna believe her.
Hey, Uncle Jeff, look what I found on the truck. A baby seal.
That's my baby seal. You put him down.
Ellie Mae Clampett, did you carry off that critter from Marine Land?
No, sir, he followed me.
Followed you?
Yeah, you just put him down and I'll show you.
Ellie Mae? I reckon he followed you to the truck, but he didn't get up by himself.
No, sir. I helped him a little.
It happened again because we're taking him back.
Come on, Whiskers.
Hey, Granny, we's going back to Marine Land.
Don't get her steamed up again. There ain't no way in the world that little woman can catch that big...
Let's go. I'm ready for that big rascal this time.
Wipe it, Skipper.
Look here. I brought little Arnie to keep you company while you're sick in bed. Called my friend the critter doctor over to the zoo. As soon as it closes, he's gonna come by and see what's ailing. Little Arnie Duke might not feel like getting his face washed right now.
Ellie Mae, you in there?
Quick, Arnie, hide under cover with Duke. Granny don't allow dogs in the bed.
You seen anything of old Duke? He ain't showed up for his victuals.
Well, Granny Duke's kind of ailing. I reckon that's why he didn't show up for his victuals. He's gonna be all right.
What's that moving around in your bed? Mind your tongue, little dog.
Now, don't get riled, Granny. Duke's been feeling poorly, and I didn't want him crawling under the house like he usually does where the critter doctor couldn't get to him.
Well, that's mighty kind of you. Crawling under the house ain't so easy anymore at my age.
But I didn't mean you, Granny. I meant the real critter doctor.
What did you say?
I said I called the real critter doctor, the one over to the zoo that's been to college, you know.
Are you telling me that I ain't fit to doctor a dog?
Oh, no, ma'am, Granny.
I've doctored this family man and beast for 50 years. I've tonicked everything from cats to cousins and never a complaint.
What's all hollering about, Granny?
Dad, you gonna paddle this young'un or should I do it?
Oh, what she's done at once paddling.
Old Duke is ailing. Think she called me to doctor him? No, I ain't good enough.
Yeah, Granny, I don't think Duke is ailing that much.
Well, she called that smart alecky college boy critter doctor to come over here.
College boy, huh?
Now, Granny, Dr. Martin ain't no smart aleck.
Don't back talk me, girl.
Well, if you're gonna get so riled, I'll just call a doctor and tell him not to come.
Hold on, Ellie. Maybe it's a good idea for you to call that critter doctor and tell him to come on over.
What did you say?
Don't play off the handle. Come on outside. I'll explain it to you.
You don't have to explain nothing to me, Jed. The handwriting is wrote on the wall big and plain. Granny, go home. Granny, we don't need you no more. Granny, you is good for nothing. Get out from underfoot.
Now, Granny.
Now, he says. Don't wait, he says. We through with you, he says. All right, Jed. Just send my poor old weary bones back home. Rest in peace in the hills.
Now, you get out of that cedar chest.
You're right, Jed. Old Granny just ain't worth wasting a good cedar chest on. Just stuff me in a box and send me home.
What's that kind of talking? Come on downstairs.
Jed, I ain't even worth a box. Just tie me in some old newspapers with a good stout string.
Want me to carry you down them stairs?
I ain't worth the trouble, Jed. I'll just throw myself out the window. You can gather me up in an old gunny sack. And if that's too much trouble, you can stick me in an envelope and mail me home.
Talk downstairs, Granny.
I guess I ain't even worth the stamps. How about sending me parcel post?
It ain't Duke I want the critter doctor to come see. It's Ellie Mae.
She ailing?
Of course not. But he might be just the beau we've been looking for that girl.
You think so?
I knowed he was a college boy. I'd had him over before this. She's always talking about how nice he is and good with critters.
But suppose he's married already?
We'll find out. Ellie Mae, if he ain't, we'll ask him to stay for supper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pop?
Granny had a good idea. Why don't you call that critter doctor and ask him to bring his wife and stay to supper?
Well, thank you anyway, Granny, but he ain't got no wife.
Oh, now that's too bad.
Well, ask him to stay to supper anyway.
Okay, Pop.
And put on a nice, pretty dress.
Well, what for?
Cat fur to make kitten breeches. Do as I tell you.
Oh, look. Oh, Duke, swell. Now we don't have to bother Dr. Martin at all.
Luke, you're spoiling Ellie's romance. Now get back up to bed and act sick. That old Duke had a relapse.
Howdy, Doctor. I seen you coming from a window up yonder.
Ellie Mae, is this your home?
Yes, sir.
The way you dress when you come to the zoo and the way you love animals, I always thought you lived on a ranch.
No, sir. This is all we got.
Ellie Mae, those animals I gave you, the raccoon, the skunk, the possum, you mean to tell me you keep them here?
Yes, sir, but they don't mind it. Please don't take them back.
Oh, I won't. It's just that, well, where's Duke?
Oh, he's in the bedroom right at the top of the stairs. Follow me.
A hound dog with his own bedroom. Wow.
Doctor's here now. You ain't gonna be sick no more. Right in here, Doctor.
I hope my animals at the zoo never find out how yours live. Looks like I'm too late.
just shy. He ain't used to doctors. I'll get you a chair.
If you're a hound dog, you got real problems.
Baby, you're what I need. Say, on a 10% commission, if I sell $30,000 worth of bug spray, you're mine.
What you looking at, Granny?
The critter doctor's out there. Dandy-looking young fella. I sure hope he ain't toting more varmints.
Oh, really? Get a move on, Ellie.
I'll fetch him in and see if his intentions is honorable.
Now, wait a minute, Granny. We don't even know he's here to court Ellie yet. You scare him away before they said howdy.
Critter doctor's here?
Yes, Ellie. We know that.
Granny and me will wait in the kitchen. You call us out to meet him after a spell.
Now, Ellie, that's a might nice-looking young feller at the door. You be nice to him.
How do you do if I may have a few moments of your time? How do you do if I may have a few hours of your time?
What for?
Well, I have this wonderful line I'd like to sell you.
That what you toting in your suitcase?
No, that's another line I'd like to sell you.
Get me in order. Jed, them pesky varmints have learned to open the back door.
Simmer down, Granny. I'll help you round him up.
Jed, I've been thinking. We hadn't ought to let that critter doctor court Ellie Mae.
Why not?
'Cause he's the one that give her all these. If he comes courting on her regular, we'll end up with more varmints in the zoo.
Yeah, now look on the bright side, Granny. She's got everything. Ain't no new ones he can give her.
You are the most complete line of insecticides and pest control products money can buy. Fly spray, mosquito ointment, moth cakes, roach pellets. You name it, I've got it. How about going in there where I can sit down?
Oh, fine dandy. There's a nice soft sofa to sit on.
I like you. You know, I like you a lot. By the way, my name's Jim Gardner.
Mine's Ellie Mae Clampett.
You know, if I make enough sales today, and something tells me I will, I might just ask you out to dinner. Yes, sirree. Hey! Hey, beautiful! Where are you? Hey, come on in. Hey, gorgeous!
Stop your yelling. I'm coming.
Are you the housekeeper here?
Well, I try to be. But it ain't easy with all them varmints underfoot.
Varmints?
Yeah, them pesky little critters. You know the ones I mean. Why, out in my kitchen right now, they were crawling all over my sink.
Madam, you are just the person I want to talk to. Now, let's start with roaches. You know how to take care of those little critters?
No, and I don't want to learn. I got enough to take care of now.
Look, let me show you the easy, pleasant way to take care of them. No muss, no fuss, no bother. Just place one of these roach pellets in a dark corner and where they can get at it, and presto.
I ain't got none now, and that's the way it's going to be.
All right, all right. How about ants? Do you have any ants?
Not in the house, I ain't.
You'd be surprised how many beautiful Beverly Hills mansions have ants.
I don't care what these squirrely Beverly Hills folks have in their house. Me and ants don't get along.
And what you want is ant syrup.
Ant syrup?
Sure, they love it. They'll come from everywhere to get it.
Do you know what kind of a doctor you are? You're a dad-blame bug doctor. That's what you are.
Exactly. You show me a bug, and I'll show you what to do for it.
It's fine. Just give him a little outdoor exercise.
Now, don't you forget Grandpa's expecting you for supper.
I'll be back, I promise. I'm very anxious to meet both of them.
There. Now, isn't that a pleasant, fragrant odor? Why, it's a regular perfume.
Not bad. What's it for?
Flies.
Flies?
Flies and mosquitoes.
I swat them pesky things.
Use this on them, and you'll never swat another one.
Close up your bag of bug vittles and get out of my house.
Let me show you what I have for spiders.
Out before I throw you out.
Quieten down, Granny. I Thought you was gonna wait till Ellie called you.
He called me, this dad-blame bug doctor. Thought I told you to get out of the house.
Now, hold on, Doctor. You just happened to catch Granny in a cantankerous mood. I'll quiet her down. Why don't you sit down? Make yourself to home. We'll have supper in a bit.
He ain't staying for supper.
Yes, he is.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is.
I ain't feed him. If he's hungry, let him eat his fancy bug riddles.
Honey, if you weren't such a doll, I'd clear out of this bug house.
Now, Granny, you listen to me.
Now, you listen to me. It's bad enough that I have to be sewing clothes for a monkey or washing bed linen after a hound dog. But I'll be swished if I'm going around spraying perfume on flies and mosquitoes and giving parties for moths.
Well, nobody wants you to.
He does, that crazy bug doctor. Tried to sell me some moth cakes.
Oh, please.
And if that ain't enough, he wants me to give a bath to fleas.
Granny.
It's true. Tried to sell me flea soap, flea shampoo, and flea dusting powder.
Look how frisky old Duke is now. The doctor sure fixed him up.
See, Granny, he's a critter doctor.
He's a bug doctor. Don't you have nothing more to do with him, Ellie.
But I like him, and he's going to be here for supper.
I ain't cooking for him.
Well, why not?
Granny just having one of her spiteful spells. Now, you get on out to the kitchen, I'll talk to you directly. No, not that way. I don't want you tying into that young fella again. Go around the back way.
Beverly Hills bug doctor. First thing you know, he'll be having Ellie leading a boll weevil on a leash. Monkey, you know, from a thing Washington.
Oh, let's leave Duke here with Skipper.
Okay. Come on, Skipper. Duke's feeling better now. You two can play cowboys again.
I mean, doggone. They do play cowboy.
It's coming on for supper time. Don't you want to get started fixing the victuals?
Who for?
For everybody.
Who's everybody?
Well, you, Jethro, Ellie, me.
Who else?
Well, you know, the company.
And who might that be?
That nice-looking young fella Ellie Mae's got in there. You know who I mean.
No. Tell me.
The critter doctor.
He's our bug doctor.
All right, have it your way. But bug doctors got to eat too, you know.
Not my cooking, they don't.
Well, you don't have to do no cooking. I'll just fetch some cold hog jowls out of the icebox, and we can open up a jar of pickled turnips.
No, you don't. Once he gets a taste of my victuals, we'll never get shit of him.
And then he can have a taste of my victuals. I reckon I can still cook up a passable pot of grits.
Over my burning body.
Granny, you're just being a little unreasonable.
No, I ain't. I don't want Ellie Mae marrying up with that Beverly Hills bug nut. Instead of grandchildren, you're liable to wind up burping a beetle.
Hey, mister, if you want to wrestle with Ellie Mae, you ought to get a better hold on her than that.
Hey, you want to wrestle?
Huh? Later. Hey, Ellie Mae, the critter doctor's out in the hall. And he brung you a present from the zoo, too.
You her brother?
Well, shucks, no.
Oh, her boyfriend, huh?
Well, I'm a boy, and we's friends. But mostly we's cousins.
Oh, that's great. My name's Jim Gallo.
How do you spell that?
Hope your granny won't mind. He's still a little wild.
Oh, I can tame him.
I'm sure you can, but what about Granny?
Well, ain't nobody can tame her.
I mean, do you think she'll mind having another critter around?
Well, let's go ask her. Extra nice.
I'll be as charming as my years will allow. Oh, Ellie Mae, let's put him back in here.
In you go.
In you go.
Now, Granny, we have invited that critter bug doctor to supper, and it ain't very nice to send him a...
Carl, Granny, the doctor's done give me a brand new critter.
What is it?
Well, look.
Oh, it's a giant, hairy caterpillar with green eyes and big teeth.
Looks like a Bobcat youngin' to me.
It is, ain't it cute?
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Martin.
Oh, yes, ma'am. This here's the critter doctor. This is my granny and this is my pal.
You're the critter doctor?
That's right.
Well, who's that bug-happy goomer in the parlor?
Goomer?
Well, that's the young fella you said to be nice to.
Let's have a word with him.
Ellie Mae, get that varmint out of my kitchen.
Yes, ma'am, Granny.
Did I understand, Ellie Mae, to call you Granny?
What about it?
With such an odd name to call one's sister.
Sister?
You're certainly too young to be her mother. But you must be related, because you have all of Ellie Mae's wonderful features. Her beauty of face, figure, her irresistible charm, her sweetness, and her loveliness.
Well, I don't know whether it's your talk or this stove, but I'm commencing to warm up to you.
What'd you say his name was again, Jethro?
It's Jim Gar.
Oh, mighty pleased to meet you.
Same here. Actually, my name's Jim Gar.
How you spell that?
I just won't take no for an answer. You're staying to supper.
How can I refuse such a gracious invitation from such a lovely lady?
You're kind of slighting this one.
A home-cooked meal would be a real treat for me. I usually eat in a restaurant.
Well, you're in for a feast tonight. We'll start off with some crawdad tails, deep-fried in possum fat, crispy and crunchy, and then some owl soup.
Owl soup?
Barn owl. And then a special dish, stuffed gopher.
You mean, gopher?
That's only the beginning.
Granny, that little bobcat's just getting along dandy with all my other critters. Can he stay?
Well, I reckon so.
That young feller wants to know, can he take you out for supper?
That's a wonderful idea.
Hold on, Doc. You're my date.
Have a good time, but don't stay out too late.
And behave yourself. Don't park a deck.
We won't. Speak for yourself.
Uncle Jed, I'm gonna have me a car just like that.
How are you fixing to pay for it?
Easy. You know that fella Jim Gar? He told me how. He said all I got to do is sell $30,000 worth of these bug vittles.
Good luck, boy. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. See you later.
Thing like that could only happen in America.
Please don't bother me now. Later, later. This is flat scrums. You.
Yes?
You assured me that you were not coming in this morning. I took you at your word. And if a secretary cannot trust the word of her employee, then I ask you, whom can she trust?
Gee, I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. You see, this appointment... You're having a hootenanny in my office, and I'm apologizing?
We are not having a hootenanny. I was merely holding an informal meeting of my folk music appreciation group. And on our own time.
Well, have it some other place. I'm running a bank, not a barn dance. Who are these characters?
Lester Flatts and Earl Scruggs. Progenitors and acknowledged masters of that style of music known as bluegrass.
Bluegrass, schmoograss. Get all this stuff out of here.
That is something I think you should know. Mr. Flatt and Mr. Scruggs are visiting here from Nashville.
Nashville, Smashville, out.
They are the house guests of Jed Clampett.
Clampett, Schmampett, Jed Clampett? My Jed Clampett? They're staying at his house?
Yes, with their wives. You see, Flatt and Scruggs are old friends of his from back in the hills.
Well, just don't stand there plugging this record player. I want to hear these boys. Nashville, too. Yeah, that's my favorite city. Say, those boys are good. Pipe that music to the bank speaker system, and then we'll drive over to the Clampetts and meet Earl and Lester in person.
that's a fact. I ain't seen anything picked that fast since Jethro got in the berry patch.
What do you call that number?
That was Foggy Mountain Breakdown, wasn't it, boys?
That's what we call it in the evening, Granny, but if we play it before noon, it's called the Louise and Gladys Wake Up.
Yeah, it's the only way we can get our wives out of bed in the morning.
Well, that's what we get for marrying city girls.
Well, city or country, I bet that opened their eyes. I'll go get breakfast on the table.
Well, we'll help you, Granny.
I've done had my breakfast, and I'm late for school now.
So long, Jethro.
Yeah, behave yourself.
See you later.
Don't forget your lunch.
Don't worry, Uncle Jed. I got it.
You know, Earl, I don't hear wives stirring around up there yet.
Let's give them another blast.
Good idea.
Jed, how about stomping the course this time?
Well, I don't know if I can stomp fast as you can pick, but I'll do my best.
Let it go, Earl.
Come in. I see it woke you up, too. Woke me? I think it woke my aunt in San Francisco. Imagine at the crack of dawn like this. Why, it isn't even 10 o'clock yet. Well, Louise, that's what we get for marrying country boys. Yes. But you know something, Gladys? I wouldn't trade our husbands for Cary Grant. I wouldn't either. We'd be fighting over him constantly. What are you going to wear today? I don't know. May as well wear our house dresses. I suppose our husbands will want us to continue our cooking lessons from Granny. Oh, no. I'll never learn how to make those country dishes. You know, I flunked grits and jowls yesterday. I don't know how I did on my fatback and collard greens. Did you taste them? Yeah, you flunked. When Lester and Earl asked us to come to Beverly Hills and stay at a millionaire's mansion, I had visions of upstairs maids, breakfast in bed, dressing for dinner, and rubbing elbows with movie stars. So what are we doing? Learning how to make chitlins, Granny style. Oh, do you remember the 3 different kinds? Are you kidding? I had a chitlin nightmare last night. What do you mean? Well, I dreamt I was a chitlin, all 3 kinds. I was hand-slung, stump-whipped, and dog-pulled. Oh, Louise, we've got to get away for a few days. My aunt in San Francisco. We'll fly up and visit her. Marvelous. But will the boys let us go? They will if we approach them right. How's this approach? I like it. Come across the hall and help me pick out my working clothes.
I think I hear him stirring around up there, boys.
Are you girls out of bed yet?
Yes, Lester, darling.
How soon you be down?
Just as soon as we're dressed, Earl, sweetheart.
Get a move on.
We will, Angel.
I know you boys picked out a couple of sweet ones, didn't you?
Yes, we did, Jed. Sweet and pretty.
If Granny can just learn them to cook, we got herself a couple of crackerjack wives.
That's the truth. You can't beat a woman that looks city and cooks country. I gotta admit, that sounds good.
Say, Jed, how come you ain't married up with one of these pretty Beverly Hills women?
Why, shucks, Lester. These fine, high-stepping society fillies ain't about to jump into double harness with an old country plow horse like me.
Now, we done all right, and you wouldn't exactly call us Kentucky Derby winners.
I tell you, Jed, these city women make fine wives.
That's the truth.
Them lazy women of yours ready for breakfast yet?
Not quite, Granny.
Well, here's some chitlins they made last evening. I thought maybe you'd like to try them.
I would. My wife talked about them in her sleep last night.
Well, shall I throw them out?
No, don't do that, Granny. Earl and me want these.
You do?
You betcha.
Lester, you thinking about the same thing I am?
I reckon so, Earl. Let's try.
You're right. They're dandy.
Small wonder that I have become an aficionado, and I'm so thrilled at the opportunity of meeting them in person and shaking those extraordinarily talented hands.
Well, howdy there. Come in, come in. Boy, This here is Miss Hathaway and Mr. Drysdale from down to the bank. These two young fellas is Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. I reckon you heard about them.
Heard of them? Why, I'm an aficionado of their music. And I am thrilled at this opportunity to meet them in person and shake their extraordinarily talented hands. You know, throughout the length and breadth of this country, the artistry of Flatt and Scruggs epitomizes the sturdy, vital music of our native soil.
Why, doggone, Mr. Drysdale, you know a lot about these boys. Why don't you tell Miss Jane something about them?
That's a good idea. Scruggs has been called the Paganini of the five-string banjo.
You don't say.
Oh, yeah. And coupled with Flatt's virtuoso handling of the guitar and his warm, authentic vocalizations, but why talk about it? Let's listen to this hearty, fructifying folk music. There you are, Mr. Scruggs. There's your banjo.
I'm screwed.
Exactly. Well, you get your guitar, and Miss Hathaway can hear some authentic crabgrass.
Bluegrass?
Exactly. She's catching on already.
I ain't waiting no longer. Everybody to the fancy eating room for lunch.
Lunch? What happened to breakfast?
Too late. Lunch is ready. Now, come on, everyone to the table. Shoo, get.
But Granny...
You two, move on.
But Mr. Flatt and Mr. Scruggs are going to do something for us.
You betcha they are. They're going to get their wives to the table.
We will for a fact, Granny.
Y'all go ahead. We'll be right in.
By the time them city women get up, we'll be having supper.
You know, Earl, I'm commencing to get aggravated at their wives.
Me too, Lester. Me too.
Sometimes I ask myself a question. Why did I marry a city woman?
Me too, Lester. Me too.
Earl, I just got the answer to my question.
Me too, Lester. Me too.
Now, boys, put me down. Put me down.
You deserve to be carried, Granny. You're the queen of the kitchen.
Yeah, sit here on your throne and we'll send our wives in for another cooking lesson.
Yeah, and if you can learn them to cook grits and jowls like yours, we're going to write a song about you.
I'll do it. Did you tell them to get into some working clothes?
Yeah, they had some foolish idea about going to San Francisco, but we put a stop to that.
Where did we go wrong, Louise? We should have asked them before lunch. Once they tasted Granny's victuals, it was no contest. Well, let's forget about San Francisco and go back to cooking school. No, wait. I can't face another lecture on advanced grits and jowls. There's gotta be some way of playing hooky.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, making me climb up that there tree after you. I just wanted you to meet our company. This here's my bobcat. Want to hide?
No, thanks.
Don't be scared. You won't hurt him.
What's the trouble, ladies? Really, May Clampett, you know better than to bring that bobcat in the house. Now get him out of here.
Well, yes, sir, Paul. Come on, Bobby. We'll just climb back up that third tree.
I sure wish somebody'd take that young'un in hand and make a fine lady out of her.
That'd be quite a job. Not in San Francisco.
I beg your pardon?
Well, Gladys and I could do a lot for her, but we'd have to get her away. From her critters and things. Yes, to a city like San Francisco.
And I got to admit that Beverly Hills ain't done a lot to help her. Oh, but I couldn't ask you ladies to give up your cooking lesson.
Ask us, ask us.
Are you boys planning any personal appearances while you're out here?
Well, just one, Mr. Drysdale. We're hoping to play for Jed Clampett's wedding.
What's this?
Mr. Clampett is getting married?
Well, if we could sell him on the notion, that's one reason we brought our wives along. Right, Earl?
Yes, we hope it'll answer this question. Can a man from a little cabin in the hills find happiness as the husband of a beautiful and educated city woman?
You two certainly seem to have found happiness.
Pretty near, pretty near.
Yeah, just a grit and a jowl away.
Well, speaking of your beautiful, sophisticated city wives, how did you happen to meet them?
We were playing an engagement in New York City, and we held an audition for girl singers.
Yeah, there must have been 300-400 girls showed up.
And Gladys and Louise stood out from the crowd.
They must have had beautiful voices.
You know something, Earl? We never did find out if they could sing.
Chief, that's how we can find a wife for Mr. Clampett.
What?
Well, he's too shy to look for himself, but If Mr. Flatt and Mr. Scruggs hold another audition right here, he'll meet dozens of beautiful girls in spite of himself.
Say, that's a good idea.
Now, hold on. Their wives might not think so.
Yeah, they know we don't need a girl singer.
Yes, that's right. With their wives around, there might be trouble. Oh, that's too bad.
Sorry to be so long getting Ellie out of the tree, but I don't climb as spry as I used to.
Pop says you're taking me to San Francisco.
Well, yes, if our husbands will let us.
Well, let's go ask him.
You do the talking.
Be glad to. Now, come on, Ellie Mae. Go on upstairs and get yourself packed. Say, Lester and Earl, your wives here like to go to San Francisco.
Hey, that's a great idea.
How soon can you leave?
Well, don't just stand there jawing about it. Get packing. Jed, you know you ought to have yourself a sweet, pretty wife like Earl and me's got.
Well, I don't get to travel around much like you boys. I don't get to see many women.
You never can tell when you run into a bunch of them.
Oh, yes, that's true. The big city's not like living in isolation back in the hills.
Yeah, back there, a feller had to get himself a wife out of a catalog.
Yeah, listen to this song, Jed, and then you'll know how lucky you are. Get you a mail-order bride. A hillman leads a lonely life. A hillman needs a loving wife. A mail-order bride. He's got a mule, he's got a dog, but what he needs from the catalog is delivery of someone to love without fail.
Without fail.
Without fail by the U.S. mail. She'll help him raise a chicken. She'll cook and sew and bake and have him raise a deer and rub away each ache. She'll help him raise a brand new barn and then she'll play her ace. She'll raise a little wrangler just to have her around the place. Get you a mail-order bride. She'll burn her brand right on your heart and you won't even feel it smart. A mail-order bride. As you ride home the long last mile, she'll make you feel it was all worthwhile. You'll be full of pride, so satisfied. You ordered a mail-order bride.
Really, Jethro, you don't have to drive us clear out to the airport. We can still take a taxi.
Yes, just pull over to the corner and stop.
Shucks, Jethro don't mind driving us.
Uncle Jed wants me to help you with the suitcases.
Yeah, he's almost strong as me.
I'm stronger. If you don't believe me, just feel these muscles.
We believe you. Watch the traffic.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, you know something? That's the fourth fella that's whistled at us.
I wonder how come.
Probably the truck, honey.
Yeah, I reckon. Don't see too many like this.
I'll take a bet on that.
What do you mean they went to San Francisco? I got everything ready for their grits and jowl lesson.
Well, but Granny,
And besides, I was going to throw in another crack at hand-slung chitlins.
but they's doing it for Ellie Mae. They'll be back quick as they turn her into a fine big city lady.
How long will that take?
Well, both of them going at it shouldn't take more than a day or so.
Fine. The sooner the better. Bye. Well, Chief, I've contacted every major theatrical agent. We will soon be inundated by a wave of beautiful, talented girls.
Well, I'll get back to the bank.
But, Chief, don't you think you should stay and look over Mr. Clampet's prospective bride?
Oh, you won't need me.
But there'll be dozens of girls to look at.
Well, you and Jed and Flatt and Scruggs can handle it.
Okay.
Well, don't give up so easily. Coax me.
No, Chief, we don't need you.
I'll stay anyway.
I'll just feel better if we tell the boys we got here all right.
I bet they miss us already.
Hello? May we speak to Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, please?
Well, if it's about the audition, that won't be necessary.
Audition? For Flatt and Scruggs?
Yes, but don't worry if you can't sing folk music. In fact, it isn't absolutely necessary that you sing at all. As long as you're single, attractive, and have a certain amount of, shall we say, domestic ability. Hurry over or you'll lose out. Bye.
What?
What's wrong, Louise?
Did it ever occur to you that our husbands change their minds about this trip very easily?
Well, yes, now that you mention it.
Well, I just found out why. They're auditioning girl singers.
What? That's how they met us.
Don't I remember? Come on.
Ellie Mae, we're going back home. Hurry.
You're next, my dear. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, number 52, your name, please.
Billy Evans.
Evans. Age?
23.
How old?
26. 7.
Next station.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Evans. Now, this is going to be your music audition. Let's hear you hit this note. That's close enough. Next station.
Thank you.
Passed your singing test, did you?
I guess so.
All right, now this is your cooking test. How do you make sassafras tea?
Oh, with sassafras?
Pass! Now, let's see you sweep.
All right, ma'am. Thank you kindly. That'll be all. Right out this door, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, Jed, what did you think about that one?
Well, it sure beats me, Lester, how you can pick a singer without hearing her sing.
Well, Jed, you know, the finest career that a woman can have is getting married and making a home. Now, what did you think about her as a possible wife?
For who?
Well, you, for instance.
Now, Lester, you've been edging around with that question. I think I ought to tell you something.
Yeah, what's that?
If I ever do get married, I want to keep my wife here at home. I wouldn't cotton to her traveling around with your foggy mountain boy.
Gladys and Louise just came in.
Tell them to get in line, Chief. No special favors.
Where are our husbands?
There's mine.
And there comes mine.
Well, look yonder, Lester. Your wives is back.
Yes, so long, Jed.
Lester Flat.
Gladys. It's good to have you back, darling.
Darling me. Since when do you need a girl singer?
Well, now we don't that you and Louise are back.
That's right. Girls, sing Mail Order Bride to Mr. Clampett.
And, Jed, we hope it'll give you an idea, because Earl and me just went out of the wife-finding business.
Get you a mail order bride. A hillman leads a lonely life. A hillman needs a loving wife. A mail order bride.
He's got a mule, he's got a dog, but what he needs from the catalog is delivery of someone to love without fail.
Without fail, without fail.
By the U.S. mail.
Filmway's presentation.
Well, please don't throw him so hard. Just bounce it to me like that. There, that's better.
You? I know it's asking a heap, but if you can pull your eyes open for a minute, yonder is something you don't see every day. A girl playing ball. With a monkey. And a bobcat watching. Sorry, old timer. I reckon what you was dreaming had it beat.
Skipper's getting good, ain't he, Pa?
Yes, for a fact, Ellie.
Can we try out for the Dodgers?
But I don't hardly think... Look out, here comes Jethro going faster than a hungry dog at feeding time. What's your hurry, Jethro?
It's time for the weather on television.
Since when is Jethro so interested in the weather?
Since he's seen that pretty girl that talks about it.
The one that riles up Granny so?
Yes, sir. Granny says she's wrong half the time, half wrong the other half.
It is expected that this high-pressure system will hold back the mass of moist air moving in across the Pacific.
Hot diggity dog, ain't she pretty?
And now the weather forecast for Los Angeles and vicinity. Continue clear this afternoon and tonight, sunny and warmer tomorrow.
You're wrong again. It's gonna rain tonight or my name ain't Daisy. Shh, don't you shush me. She's the one that's fibbing.
What's the trouble, Granny?
Oh, it's gonna rain tonight, and she keeps telling me that it's gonna be clear. She don't know what she's talking about.
Shh, I want to listen to my TV, sweetie.
By the way, there'll be a full moon tonight. Perfect for a weenie roast at the beach. See you there.
You sure will. Hey, Granny, we got any weenies?
And now, good night from your weather miss.
Weather miss is right. She ain't hit it right all week.
Well, she's just a young girl, Granny.
Well, then they shouldn't send a girl to do woman's work.
We got any weenies, Granny?
I keep telling her she's wrong, but she won't listen to me. Just keeps on blabbing.
We got any weenies, Granny?
I don't think they can hear you when you talk back to this TV contraption.
Well, then why do they keep asking me those questions? Like, are you tired and run down? Does too many suds clog your washing machine?
We got any weenies?
Yeah, them kind of questions.
I don't know about that, but I bet you that weather girl will take it right kindly if you called up and straighten her out. Told her it was going to rain tonight. That is, if you're for positive sure.
You get her on the phone. I'll step outside and take a look at the signs once more.
Hey, Granny, we got any weenies?
Special operator.
Well, thank you. Any operator would have done, but since you come on special, I'll let you handle it. I'd like to talk to that girl on TV that says it ain't going to rain tonight. Granny thinks she's wrong.
I can give you weather information.
Oh, you too, huh? Well, all right. Whose side are you on, hers or Granny's?
Now, Ellie, watch close. Because one of these days, you'll be taking my place predicting the weather. Jethro, fetch me a ladybug.
Granny, how about them weenies?
You can't tell nothing from weenies. Fetch me a ladybug.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Now, we'll commence with this little bobcat. Have you noticed his fur standing up bushy?
Yes'm.
And have you noticed him licking again the grain?
Yes'm, I have.
That's a sign. Bobcat's licking again the grain. Come that night, it's likely to rain.
Did you hear that, Bobby? You're a weather sign.
So is your rooster Earl, Ellie. Looky yonder.
That a sign of rain, Granny?
Yes, sirree. Rooster crows before he goes to bed. He'll wake up with a soggy head.
Tell me some more rain signs.
Oh, there's dozens of them. Cats sneezing, dogs eating grass, sheep turning their backs to the wind, wolves howling before sundown, ants banking up the dirt around their holes. See that tree over yonder?
Yes'm.
You notice how the leaves are turning up, showing the underside? That's a good sign.
Hey, Granny, I can't find no ladybug.
That's a good sign. Now see if you can fetch me a bullfrog.
Yes, ma'am.
Bullfrogs turn dark 10 or 12 hours before it rains. But here's a sign that separates the girls from the grannies. My weather beetle. Watch him when he gets a whiff of air.
Well, he turned over on his back and kicking up his leg.
That's a dead for sure, positive, certain sign it's going to rain tonight. This little rascal never fails. Likes to get his stomach scratched.
Can I do it?
Easy, easy now. It tickles him.
Granny, appears like that pretty little girl on the TV don't do her own predicting.
She don't?
Oh, she gets her weather news from the government.
Whose government?
Ours, I reckon. Leastwise, I got the number where we can call ahead weatherman.
Good. The sooner I set him straight, the better.
Excuse me, Mr. Addison. The latest teletype dispatches from all stations and photographs from weather satellite Tyros.
Weather ship confirms. Satellite photos check. Barometer rising. Weather balloon A-OK. Polar stations ditto. All meteorological observations verified. You have processed these data through the computer?
Yes, sir. Here's the electronic projection.
Ah, what a shame that this brilliant compilation of scientific knowledge and observation will be interpreted to the public in two simple words. Clear tonight. Maybe Washington. Chief Forecaster Addison here.
How do they, this here is Jed Clampett. Are you the weatherman?
I am the supervisor of meteorological observation for this area.
Oh, well, I was wanting a weatherman.
You're speaking to him. I am Justin Addison.
Well, shucks, don't feel bad about that. I'm just a Clampett. Oh, well, here's Granny. She wants to straighten you out on the weather tonight.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you oughta. Telling everybody it ain't gonna be no rain tonight. It's gonna come down in buckets.
Madam, you have my assurance. There will be no precipitation tonight.
Maybe not, but there's gonna be a whole slew of rain.
Madam, you must realize that weather prediction has progressed far beyond the primitive superstitions in which you seem to place credence. It has become a geophysical science, the science of meteorology, with the world our test tube and the limitless reaches of the universe our laboratory.
Are you through flapping your trap? Because if you are, I got something to tell you.
And what might that be?
It's gonna rain tonight.
It is not going to rain tonight.
I say it is.
I say it isn't. And Tyros says it isn't.
Well, Cecil says it is.
Who the devil is Cecil?
My weather beetle. And he can out-predict your Tyros any day.
Well, madam, let me tell you about Tyros. As a taxpayer, you have a right to know. After all, you helped pay for him.
How much did it cost?
Tyros number 7 was activated at a cost of millions of dollars.
For a beetle that says it ain't gonna rain tonight? I want my money back.
You hadn't ought to yell at him. He's a government man.
Fine government man you are. Heh, I bet you can't even find me still.
Mr. Government man, Granny was just funning. She's, hello? Hello? I reckon you throwed the fat in the fire that time. He's liable to come over here and you'll have some explaining to do.
So will he. Like what happened to the first 6 beetles we helped pay for.
We helped pay for them?
Yes, sir. And I want to tell you something, Jed. I don't know how the government's doing with their other supplies, but they is paying an outrageous price for beetles.
Hey, oh, Miss Jane, Mr. Drysdale, sure am glad to see you. Looks like we's headed for trouble.
What's wrong?
Well, Granny's fighting mad. She wants to take on the whole United States government.
Well, that would be a one-sided fight.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad you come along. I hope you can stop it before the government gets too rostered around.
What precipitated the altercation?
Well,
What are they fighting about?
Oh, well, they can't seem to agree about the weather.
Oh, is that all?
Tell Granny to forget it.
Too late. They done crossed beetles.
Beetles?
Yeah, and Granny said something she hadn't ought to. If I could just talk to that government man, I think I could head him off, save us a heap of trouble.
Do you know his name?
Yes, ma'am, but he didn't seem none too proud of it for some reason. Head weatherman, too.
Addison.
Right. He's Justin Addison.
Yeah, that's the way he seemed to feel about it. Tell me, did his pa do something?
Oh, he did indeed. Addison Sr. was a pioneer meteorologist.
MIT man. PhD, magna cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa.
Addison Jr. is good.
But he's not the man his father was.
True. He always lived in the old man's shadow.
Yeah, that's the way it happens sometimes.
Well, if you'd like to meet him, we'll drive you down to the office and I'll introduce you.
Yeah, I sure would appreciate that. Ellie Mae! Ellie, honey, you look after your granny. I'll be back directly.
Yes, sir, Pa.
Wouldn't want Granny and that weatherman to tie into each other.
Hello there, Granny.
We'll bring Mr. Clampett right back.
Where's it taking you, Jed?
Just for a little ride.
Well, if you're going to be out after dark, you better put up your roof. It's going to rain.
Oh, no, it isn't, Granny. We were listening to the weather forecast on the way over.
Continue clear this afternoon and tonight.
Drive on quick.
It's going to rain. My beetle says it's going to rain. Ellie Mae's bobcat says it's going to rain. Her rooster says it's going to rain. The ants say it's going to rain. The leaves on the trees. Even this monkey says it's going to rain.
Here they are, Mr. Addison.
Drysdale, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Addison.
Oh, excuse me, Chief. I'll just wait in the outer office.
Right. I'd like you to meet my very good friend, next-door neighbor, and largest depositor.
How to do there? I'm Jed Clampett.
Great pleasure to know you, sir. I'm Justin Addison.
Well, now, Mr. Addison, you got to forget about what your pa done. Make your own way in the world.
You knew my dad?
No, but Mr. Drysdale told me about him.
What you said, Mr. Clampett, is quite to the point. All my life, people have said he's not the man his father was.
Well, now, you believe him, because he's right.
Mr. Clampett, I think you have something to discuss with Mr. Addison.
I do for a fact. It's about the way Granny's been acting.
Well, I'll leave you two alone.
Won't you sit down, Mr. Clampett?
Oh, thank you.
Did you say Granny?
Well, her real name is Daisy.
You mean Hurricane Daisy?
That's the one.
Yes, she is beginning to give us trouble. We've just started tracking her.
I was afraid of that. Couldn't you just forget about her? She ain't doing no harm.
Not now, perhaps, but if she ever moves north, there's no estimating the damage she might do.
I think I can promise you she ain't gonna move north.
Well, I wish the Government Weather Bureau could be as certain as you are. No, I'm afraid we cannot ignore a force as potentially dangerous as Hurricane Daisy.
What are you planning to do?
Well, we're going to try something new with Daisy. We're going to fly over her with high-altitude Air Force jets.
You mean an airplane?
Bombers, the biggest we've got. And we're going to drop silver iodide and dry ice right in her eye.
Government or no government, I reckon I can't let you do that.
Well, with all due respect, sir, I hardly see how you're going to stop us.
Well, maybe not, but I'm going to do my best.
What are you, a hurricane lover? Please, believe me, Mr. Clampett. Daisy is a violent, destructive force. She's unpredictable. She's dangerous.
I grant you all that, Mr. Addison, but she's still my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law?
The Clampett clan sticks together.
Mr. Drysdale!
Well, here we are.
You know, Addison, I'm going to enjoy watching this movie about weather forecasting myself.
Yes, well, I hope it will convince Granny.
It was a positively inspired idea, Mr. Addison. One picture is worth 1,000 words.
Do you think this is the way Dad would have handled it?
You got to stop worrying about what your pa done. Make it on your own. You're still a young feller. Of course, you ain't met Granny yet.
Put up the screen, Miss Addison.
My goodness. This is a magnificent home, Mr. Clampett.
Well, thank you, sir. Now, let me tell you something. My pa lived in a little bitty log cabin with a dirt floor, and I was never ashamed of him, and you hadn't ought to be ashamed of your pa.
Ashamed of him? Why, Dad was an MIT PhD.
You don't need to spell it out. I've heard ugly words before. Now, don't go to mean-mouthing him right off. He's trying to live down a bad family name as it is. He ain't such a bad fellow when you get to know him, for a government man.
Well, you better not mean-mouth me, nor my beagle neither.
Mr. Addison, this here is Granny, the Daisy we had a little misunderstanding about.
How do you do? I'm Justin Addison.
Howdy.
See what I mean? Apologizes every time.
Howdy, everybody.
Ellie Mae, this here is Mr. Addison. Mr. Addison is my daughter, Ellie Mae.
How do you do?
Well, just fine, thank you.
Mr. Addison's going to show us a movie on weather predicting.
Well, fine, Paul. But Granny said she done told me everything there was to know about it.
Everything.
Well, then just watch for the fun of it.
Take seats, everybody. We're about ready to start the picture.
By way of prefacing what you are about to see, may I say that from the dawn of his existence, man was in awe of the elements. But in time, man's awe of the elements gave way to investigation. And today, we no longer have to rely on such things as prognosticating beetles.
Don't you call my Beatles whatever it is you just called them.
Addison, maybe you better get on with the movie.
I think you're right. Those occurred to me. Today, weather reports from every part of the world can be obtained almost instantly, and they are the basis of modern weather forecasting. Because weather on Earth is affected by conditions above Earth, race sun balloons are launched into the atmosphere at stations throughout the world.
Instead of looking for weather signs, they's playing with balloons.
Pressure, temperature, and winds are plotted on map segments, which are joined together to form a large map of simultaneous observations. But a revolution is taking place in forecasting techniques. Electronic computers can analyze data and predict tomorrow's weather map. The frontiers of meteorology have been greatly expanded by the use of Tyros.
That's a big one.
Here you see Tyros 2, 19 inches high, 42 inches in diameter, and weighing approximately 280 pounds.
That Tyros may be big, but he ain't half the Beatles Cecil is.
And here is Tyros atop its launch vehicle, about to be rocketed into space.
I ain't seen nothing like that since the time your steel blew up.
Yes, the modern science of meteorology has removed weather forecasting from the realm of superstition and coincidence, enabling me to say with complete confidence, it will not rain tonight.
Well, Granny, what do you think?
I think she better get her car under cover. It's gonna rain in 1 minute.
Really, has all this been for naught? Hasn't this mass of scientific evidence convinced you that my prediction is the correct one?
Better get a move on.
Can't happen. It just can't.
Well, do you still think your Tyros is better than mine, Cecil?
I don't know what to think.
Come and sit down, and I'll give you a lesson in how to predict the weather.
Jethro! Jethro! Granny wants you to come down to breakfast. I'm coming, Uncle Jed. You got caught in the rain last night.
I sure did. Wait down the beach, pretty near all night in the pouring rain for that pretty little weather girl. And she never did show up.
I can't see as a blamer.
But she hadn't ought to said it was going to be clear last night.
That wasn't her fault. You got any complaining to do, you call Mr. Addison.
Yes? Well, madam, we were just as surprised as you were. Yes? So sue us. Will you get off my back? Oh, I'm sorry, Chief. Yes, we did come a cropper last night, but you can depend on our predictions from now on. I guarantee it. Today? Well, just a moment. Hello, Chief. All clear today. You can depend on it. How do I know? My beetle isn't kicking. Cecil, you little genius. You're going to make me a better forecaster than Dad ever was. Why, Dad, you should have told me you were a beetle man.
Presentation.